Well, that is the question, isn't it? Donald Trump has now laid down his vision for the future, but will it be winning over American voters? Let's bring in Richard Walker, who's in Cleveland for us right now. Richard, it's been a very long night for you. Has Donald Trump said how he's going to make America great again?
Well, it was still very much a kind of broad brush speech, even though, I mean, he did go through an awful lot of areas, talking about security, talking about the economy, those as the kind of two chief areas of concern for him. It really didn't get down to an awful lot of detail about how he was going to kickstart the economy beyond the kind of thing that we've heard from him before, for instance, that he wants to increase fossil fuel discovery to get more energy into the economy, that sort of thing, that he wants to cut taxes, but at the same time he says that he wants to increase investment in roads, infrastructure and that sort of thing. So there's an awful lot of fact-checking going on right now, people beavering away to sort of see whether his sums add up. Some of the claims that he's made have added up. But I would say it was still pretty broad brush. It was still very much the kind of thing that he's based his campaign on all along, really, which is really about aspirations and a kind of stance that he wants to have in a world of American greatness, of restoring an imagined greater time in American history, rather than going into the kind of sort of burrowed down detail that you get from Hillary Clinton. Go on her website and she's got reams and reams of pages of policy proposals. Still nothing like that from Donald Trump.
What about the tone of this speech, Richard? One of its goals certainly was to present a Donald Trump who's presidential.
Yeah, well, it was interesting. It sort of fell in between Donald Trump's usual kind of off-the-cuff style and his teleprompter reading style. Now, usually his teleprompter speeches have been very stiff. He's obviously not very comfortable reading from a prompter. This time he was reading from a prompter, but he seemed distinctly happier with it. He did riff sometimes off sentences, add his own little perorations here and there, and that gave it a bit more of a sort of half and half feel compared to his previous efforts to read from a teleprompter. So it really did feel like him coming across. I think also the speech writing was improved compared to previous teleprompter speeches. You often got the sense that he was being force-fed lines by a speechwriter that he wasn't really comfortable saying, and this was written mostly in extremely simple language, the kind of language that he likes to use when he is speaking off the cuff, and the kind of language that is really it's really got his message through to an awful lot of people on the campaign trail that's made his campaign such a success.
Richard, how that message go down with the delegates out on the floor? What was the mood when he laid down the law and order message, for example?
Yeah, well, it was very positive. I mean, it was a speech that was very long, but it was interesting that you didn't get a sense that the crowd was sort of running out of energy or getting bored at any time. There were huge applause lines in there, especially the law and order sort of stuff, also the attacks on Hillary Clinton. And we were speaking just behind me here. There's a stage. There was a band playing after the speech. We were speaking to delegates and other Republican Party members there who were sort of celebrating after the speech, getting a sense of what they thought of the speech. And it was quite interesting what they had to say. So why don't we just play tape of that now?
He is my voice. He knows what I'm going through. I totally believe that he understands what's going on out here. I believe.
I'm somebody that's come from supporting a different candidate. Donald Trump was my 17th choice, and now he's number one, numero uno.
Well, I thought it was amazing. I am a gay American, so I was so happy to hear him shout us out from the podium. I believe that's the first time a candidate has sort of spoken to our community in that way from either party, certainly for a Republican.
I wasn't really a big fan of the kind of rhetoric that was coming out of the Trump campaign, but it was really great to see that was kind of walked back during the convention.
I thought it was a great speech, and I thought it was a speech that he really needed to give tonight to show people that he's presidential and can deliver a speech with the gravitas that's necessary for that office.
I think it was a very good speech, a uniting speech. a speech of a lot of promises that we do hope that he will be able to fulfill.
I was really impressed because I think he brought the tenor down and he spoke to the problems that we have in our country in a very serious manner.
So you see, I mean, the people there, obviously one or two of them had had one or two drinks, but I think it was quite interesting talking to all those people and others people who we didn't put on camera, that they were really uniformly impressed by the speech, but in different ways. So you had some people who had been Trump supporters all along who heard exactly what they'd been hoping to hear. We also spoke to a lot of people who had come from other candidates, like the woman we just heard there. Donald Trump was her 17th choice, the last person she imagined herself supporting in the Republican field, which was 17 people strong last summer, and saying that she'd come around. And also, I think it was interesting to hear from the young gay man there. That was also quite a distinctive thing, that Donald Trump, you know, he's often seen as a very sort of a hardliner, particularly from outside the United States. Inside of the United States on these social issues like gay rights, he's actually pretty moderate, and that was quite a telling shout out to the gay community that he had there in his speech.
Okay, so he's looking to make the big tent even bigger for the Republican Party, apparently. Richard, we have to leave it there. Richard Walker for us in Cleveland. Thanks so very much, Richard.